Welcome back. We are on video number 4, I think, for this wonderful Kenworth logging truck. First things first, again, I know I say this in a lot of videos. Excuse the noise in the background. AC, very hot, humid. I have to run it, and it's noisy. I do need a new one. Okay, that being said, we have the logging trailer. We have the Diamond RIO, the truck I first paired with the logging trailer. And then in the background we have the Kenworth Alaskan Hauler. It's all done. I weathered it. We'll show that off in a little while. So what I want to do is I want to pair the trailer with the Kenworth. That does mean removing the trailer from the Diamond RIO. The problem with that is that it's not really a problem. I'm sure I won't have any real issues getting the trailer disconnected. Is it the trailer doesn't use a fifth wheel plate? It kind of connects to the back of the frame. I'll show that off in a few minutes, but basically I'm going to remove the logs, take the trailer off completely, and then start working on the hardware that's holding this part of the trailer to the Diamond RIO. Then we'll take the Diamond RIO off completely. I have a fifth wheel and I have a fifth wheel plate for it, so it's just a matter of taking off the trailer, putting the fifth wheel plate on, and the Diamond RIO will be done. I am going to leave this headache rack on. This is the one that came with the trailer, but I really like the headache rack that came with the Alaskan Hauler. So we're going to leave that headache rack on. I'm very pleased with that. So first things first, we'll take the logs off and we'll disconnect the trailer. Okay, the trailer is disconnected. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work on it. I think that I've already got a broken piece. Instead of using a fifth wheel, it uses this little clamp thing that basically clamps onto this little hook thing on the back. Well, that little clamp thing is already broken. I may take it off completely and make a new one that's a little more robust. It may not be exactly right, but this one was just so small that I feared it was going to break, and it was basically two little fingers that would grab on. And then of course we have the, I think they call these bolsters. They are articulated. I really don't know why. They don't have to be, We got the hose here, or whatever you want to call it, for the brake lines and such. I like it. I mean, it's old school. I don't know when these trailers were a thing, but it looks pretty good. So, and then on the back of the Diamond RIO, we have the other half of the logging trailer. This I may have to do a little work on just to get it off, and I'll have to pull that off as well. But I don't think it's going to be too big a job. I may take the tray out that holds more chain. I don't know. I may leave it because the Alaskan Hauler has a lot of chain on it to begin with. It has a lot of chain storage on the back. So I may just leave that tray alone. But I'm going to have to start pulling these things off. And then we'll weather the trailer. We'll put the fifth wheel plate onto the Diamond RIO, and we will call it good in terms of this truck. It'll be done and out of the way. I really like that Diamond RIO. I was very pleased when I finally finished. That's a very nice truck. So there we go. We'll pull the Diamond RIO out of the way, and we'll start working on the trailer, I think. Okay. This really isn't turning out to be as difficult a job as I thought it would be, quite honestly. The pieces that I glued on, I actually used super glue for some of it, because I figured at some point I wouldn't mind removing parts here and there. And as it turns out, that was a good decision, because the parts that I'm having to remove are just popping off, thanks to super glue being a wonderful product, but at the same time a brittle product, something that can be, snapped off easily. We'll start with the Diamond RIO. Excuse me. The Diamond RIO had this on it. Now this, I banged my camera. This is the forward part of the logging trailer, the forward bolsters, I guess they call them. That was mounted where the fifth wheel plate normally would live on a truck like this. And that's why this turns, because as the truck turns and the trailer turns behind it, this needs to follow. Kind of neat. But I happen to have a spare fifth wheel. I've got several of these, actually. Some of these kits come with a couple of them. And it still needs to be painted and glued. It's just mocked up at the moment. But that's gonna finish off the Diamond RIO. So I'll paint that, glue it together. We'll bring it back in as one of the wheels pops off the Diamond RIO. I'm having the hardest time with some of these. The wheels that are... I'll fix that later. Diamond RIO aside for now. We'll put the bolster up here so it's out of my way. Then we have two crucial parts that connect the trailer to the truck. We have this little hook that the front of the trailer will actually hook onto. And then we have this piece that is what the hoses will actually connect to. I don't know how they're going to connect, because those are tiny little nubs that you actually put the hose on. But that will be glued onto the back of the truck. Let me bring the truck over. So we got the back of the truck with the tail lights and the brakes, the brake light, the brake lights and the license plate. This will actually be glued right here, so that the trailer wiring and hoses can be hooked up directly to it. And then this, the trailer hook will actually be glued right in the middle of this plate, and that just gets glued on. Then the forward bolster will go right where the fifth wheel normally would live. Now I might actually move that back a little ways, because this truck has a sleeper, so it's a little bit longer this way. I'll have to play around with some of the fits, because that looks a little too wide, but I can fix that easy enough. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and get some of this glued together, painted, and we'll be back in a minute. We're done. To be fair, honestly, it was a much easier job than I thought it would be. I thought I was going to really pay hell trying to pry pieces off, but for the most part, things let go just like I hoped they would. So what we'll do is we'll take the camera off the stand here, and we'll take a quick peek at what we got. I'll try and move the truck a little closer. The problem is it's very big, so you're kind of limited on how close I can get the camera on the stand. So we're going to go freehand here. Alright, so of course we have the old Kenworth here. I love how those chains came out. We'll turn on the light here. There we go. Love how those chains really sort of hang off the truck. The interior looks real nice. I love the decal of the dashboard. More chains in the back. Extra propane tank. I think this, again, I know I rant and I rave about these trucks. I really have a hard time with AMT kits, but you can't deny the results. You know, you put a little bit of work into them, you overcome some of these problems, and you end up with a very nice looking kit. I am pleased with it. To be fair, I also don't always weather my kits. I felt this one screamed for weathering since it is a logging truck. So we'll pull it ahead a little bit. We'll take a look at the details. Of course, the hoses and lines are hooked up. Trailer couplers connected. I did replace the string, which was represented as rope, with chain. I think that fits a lot better, and now that when I pose the trailer and I move it around, things will move sort of cohesively instead of just falling apart. I weathered the trailer. You can see the dirty tires, you can see the chain. Not too bad. Not too bad. So let's pull it back, and let's just look at it. I mean, I think it really came out nice. Am I ever going to buy this kit again? No. I feel like I have enough Kenworths, especially since this one is kind of a limited kit in terms of what you really can do with it. I could have put on the hood that it came with, you know, the hood mounts. I would have had the sleeker fenders that, you know, Kenworth has. But I have a couple of those types of trucks. In fact, I still have the California Hauler. I know that's a Peterbilt. I'm just very happy with it. I think it looks great, especially when you combine it with the logging trailer. It just really sort of stands out. So I think that's it. Let me bring in the Diamond RIO. All right, there's the Diamond RIO. Fifth wheel plate is in place. I think that looks really good. So it will, see, there goes that wheel again popping off. I might have to glue it in place. Anyway, I think it looks pretty darn good. It looks like it's sort of on backup, waiting for a logging trailer with the wonderful headache rack that's on it. It just looks really good. So I know this video really isn't about the Diamond RIO, but it became part of the video when I had to swap out the trailer. So there we go. So there we are. The wonderful Alaskan Hauler, Kenworth conventional. Bring the box art back up again. There we go. I think I made it look pretty close to what the box art shows. A few differences here and there. So anyway, sorry it had to be a 4-video series. Again, I'm not particularly great at doing videos. I'll never understand how somebody can take a full model kit build and condense it down into a 10-minute video. They do it and they make it look so good. I'm just not good at that. So sadly, it means you have to sit through 4 videos, 3 videos, whatever. I think I'm up to like 20 videos on the Pearl. So anyway, I hope you liked that video, and thanks for watching.